It is a book about the future. It's a book about choices, fundamentally about policy choices and the difference that they can make. It is a book about the youth of today becoming the leaders of tomorrow, and in that way it's a book about growth and about jobs. It's a book about action, it's a book about implementation of visions and plans, and it's fundamentally a book about solutions.
The challenges can be overcome and opportunities grabbed only if we, by we I mean the leaders in Africa, stop business as usual. We have to think out of the box. We have to act out of the box. We have to put our acts together and work out for reform and transformation.
We show that whatever the exceptions across the continent, and you are dealing with 54 countries, that there is an indisputable link between democratic conditions and higher levels of development and growth. In other words, across the board, with exception of course, across the board as an average, the more democratic the country, the higher the income levels, the less the volatility and vulnerability to internal or external shocks, and overall the greater the compounding effects of growth.
National Assembly that called me grandfather of corruption has nothing to show to justify that. In fact, they have an inquiry which completely absolved me, completely, totally. And when I accused them of corruption, then they borrowed language to describe me.
Development is fundamentally about deciding what not to do, about what to leave out for another day, about what is more important than something else. And that is absolutely crucial, because otherwise you are spread so thin, whether you're an external donor or an internal government, you're spread so thin, your effect is so minimal.
We haven't overlooked small-scale entrepreneur. We have not at all. In fact, if anything, particularly from my own experience, they are the immediate future of development in Africa. If over 60% of our population depend on agriculture or agribusiness, we can only ignore them at their peril.
I don't believe that we are going to develop through large volumes of external aid. It may make it easier. In some ways it may make it more difficult. We are going to develop, I think, in the same way that everybody else has developed, and I think that's a good thing. I don't believe that Africa is going to develop in any fundamentally different way to the way in which the rest of the world has developed, which is about local, primarily, investors and some foreigners making rational choices about where to put their money. And generally foreigners follow the locals. If the locals are making an investment, the foreigners look, see, like, and make an investment too.